Good evening, Robert Dunbar here at my home office in Jacksonville, Florida. Hey guys, look, I'm super excited about the Becoming an Entrepreneur Facebook training page that I just created. And I thank you all for joining that page. And I'm looking for more people to get on that page. The information there is going to be PDF based, video based, sometimes just general scripts on different things. So it's called Becoming an Entrepreneur training page, and I'm going to be loading it up with all kind of different training material and things of that nature. And also it's going to help with my 2020 book release in the second quarter. And the name of that book is Becoming an Entrepreneur in the Network Marketing Industry. So all excited about my YouTube channel that's being set up to go. It's an older YouTube channel that I'm recreating to really reflect the training that I'm doing now. So you will find the link coming up very soon for my YouTube page. My social media, Instagram page is there. So you will see the ability to tag each one of those through another one of those venues. So I am linking them all together. So bear with me with that. And I thank you guys for sticking with me for this video here. I wanted to do that quick reminder that I do have those different ways for you to engage with the material when you're not catching it live and things of that nature. So going into what I'm going to talk about today. So I want to talk a little bit about something called spotting for success. Spotting for success. So what is spotting for success? So for those that follow me or who are friends with me, you all know that I pretty much go to the gym 5 to 6 days a week. And I don't work out because I want to be a competitive weightlifter or any of those different things. I really work out to stay in shape. I'm 44 years old, and I would like for my health to, to be good throughout my career and, all the different things that I have planned for my future. Got, a brand new 6-month-old granddaughter, so I got to be able to keep up with her, right? So really what I've done is just given myself a regimen to go to the gym and change the way I eat and all those different things. And why am I talking about these things? Because at the gym, you will see people working out, whether it's competitively or just because they want to stay in shape. But when they're doing strength training, one of the things that you will see is that they'll have a workout partner there with them, and that workout partner will spot them as they lift heavier weight. And what's the purpose of that? Two things. And there's several reasons why people have spotters, but I'm going to touch on two topics. Let me say it that way so I don't get a bunch of comments asking me why I say there's only two reasons you can have a spotter. So here's two reasons that you could use a spotter. One, because you don't want to get hurt. The spotter is there to make sure that if you're lifting a weight too heavy, or if you're pushing yourself too hard and your muscles give, or your arms give, or legs give, or whatever, muscles you're working at that time give, you don't drop that weight on your chest, particularly in a bench press scenario. I'm bench pressing and I'm trying to squeeze that last rep out, and I can't get that last rep out, and I just, my arms let go. I lose that, that last bit of strength I have, and that weight falls on my chest. I can get injured pretty badly with that. Also, it's to encourage. So a really good spotter knows that when they're spotting you, their job is to hold their hands under that beam, but not really lift the weight, but just to encourage that person to lift the weight themselves. So it's almost like giving you the idea that somebody's helping you lift it so that you get that last push out and you feel like, hey, I'm not worried about it dropping on me because somebody does have it. It's really a mental thing. And, I train a lot about mindset and things of that nature. So it's going to all come together here. So spotting for success. So spotting in the gym really keeps you safe so that you don't hurt yourself with a heavy weight if your arms give. And it's also to encourage you to lift heavier weight so you can go up in weight so that you can build strength if you're a strength builder. So, I'm lifting, 250 pounds and I'm trying to get myself to 325, and I can encourage myself to lift heavier weight to get there if somebody's spotting me to make sure that I don't hurt myself. So I wanted to make sure you guys understood the concept of spotting in a gym. And now I want to talk about spotting for success, because we've got people in business, people in network marketing, people in all kind of brick and mortar or online businesses that get stuck in a certain income level. They get stuck at a certain amount of clients that they can't get past that different level. Everybody has a sticking point, right, in their business that they get to, and they just can't seem to get to that next level. So I'm gonna use the first example I'll use is Legal Shield because I'm a part of Legal Shield and I work with a lot of people in Legal Shield. So because a lot of my business partners are in Legal Shield, I'll give that example first. So we have a ring program. We have a $50,000 ring, a $100,000 ring, a $150,000 ring, a $200,000 ring, and then it goes from 200 to a million in $100,000 increments. And a lot of times we'll get stuck at a specific ring because we earn the 50K, but we can't get to the 100K, or we earn the 100K and we can't get to the 150, or vice versa. Some of us are stuck at 200,000. Some of us are stuck at 300,000, 500,000. And although those are great amounts of money to earn to be able to provide for your family, you still can reach that sticking point. And that sticking point can affect you because you start to feel bad about the position that you're in. And sometimes the people around you, even though you're making more money than they may be making, they still feel like you're not growing because you've reached that sticking point. So we want you in your business, whether it be a Legal Shield associate trying to get to the next ring, whether it be a person that owns a tax office, like me and a business partner of mine, a young lady previously owned a tax office, and you can get to a certain client base, and every year your client base is at 1,000, and it may fluctuate from maybe 800 to 1,100 clients. So the amount of money that that tax office makes doesn't grow because you're either rotating clients or you're keeping just the same clients. In most cases, you're rotating clients out. So you're losing clients and you're gaining more clients the next year. But you get to that sticking point in that business where their client base isn't growing, so the income remains to be the same. And really, as a business owner, if you're not growing, you're pretty much dying, right? So you don't want to be in a position where your business is not growing, whether it's a network marketing business, an online business, or a brick and mortar business. So spotting for success is about identifying why you've got to that sticking point and then move forward on that. So let me give you a personal situation with myself because I was a 50K ring earner with Legal Shield. Then I moved to the 100K ring with Legal Shield. And there was a sticking point for me at the 50K ring for a little bit where I was there for about 2 years. And then I moved to the $100,000 ring. And how did I get out of that sticking point? I had to sit down and make a decision. So write this down. The very first thing you have to do is make a decision. I don't care how many trainers you go to. John C. Maxwell, Grant Cardone, the top trainers in your company that you work with, the top trainers in the industry that you're a part of. All of that training is great stuff, but if it's landing in an area where it's not helping you, and I'll do another training on soul cleansing and how that's all important. But right now, if it's landing in a place that's not positive, if it's landing in a place that's not driven, if it's landing in a place that's your sticking point and you're not going to grow, then it's not going to help you. So what I need you to do is understand that in that position, when you're in that place in your business where you're at that sticking point, that you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision that you no longer want to be in that place so that you can move forward. And you need to create a vision to move forward. So in my business, what I did was I created a ring chart so that I can look at the numbers I needed for the next ring. And that was the vision that I created for myself so that the provision would come so that I could move to the next ring. Does that make sense? So for you and your business, if I had a tax office and I was trying to go from 800 to 1,100 clients to 1,500 clients, I would have to set some kind of vision to do that. I would have to put together an advertising and market plan or a grassroots marketing campaign so that on that next year as it came around, I would be able to build a higher client base so I can get out of that sticking point. So I want you to look at that and say, hey, look, sticking point, and how do I get out of my sticking point? I'm going to make a decision. And then I'm going to create a vision to move out of that sticking point so that I'm not in a position where I'm just stagnant in my business. So we want you to have a spot, right? A spotter for success so that your success can move up, because we don't want you to get hurt while you're trying to move to the next level. We don't want that to be your scenario. We don't want your scenario to be, I'm trying to move from A to B and I'm scared I'm going to get hurt. I'm scared I don't have the money to cover the expenses to do it. So I want to create a bigger marketing campaign so I can get more customers, but I don't want to get hurt. My budget doesn't allow me to do that much advertising, that much more advertising. So I don't know if I want to do that. It may not be a good idea. So now you're scared to lift the heavier weight because you don't think your budget can afford it. So that's a situation where you need to be spotted for success. So you need to either find a business partner to work with, see if you can get a loan to help you with that scenario, things of that nature. Taking it back to the company that I'm a part of, Legal Shield. In the scenario with Legal Shield, my spot for success was, I was saying to myself, I'm currently not making enough money and I don't have enough business in my books and I don't have enough on my calendar to go from $4,166 a month to $8,333 a month. So my sticking point and where my spotting was, where my spotter was needed was, I needed to make sure that I could add those things. So I was concerned. I won't say scared. I wasn't scared, but I was concerned that, hey, I can't get to the $100,000 ring because I don't have enough business on the books. I don't have enough on my calendar to get to $8,333 a month. So I had to create a vision by putting those numbers on a chart, putting them on my mirror in the bathroom, putting them on in my workspace, right, like where I'm at my home office, so right above me right here. So if I look up, boom, I've got my numbers right there on my whiteboard, right behind my computer, right in front of my face. So that was something that I had to do to create that vision. And as I created that vision in my mind, my brain started to work, and then the numbers started to come because business started to come. I got calls from people that I wasn't expecting to get calls from. I got referrals from people I wasn't expecting to get referrals from. I wasn't expecting to get referrals from. So you have to get it in your mind first so that you can get past that. In the gym, somebody's standing behind me to let me know before I take that weight off the rack. Boom, I'm here to back you up. In business, you want to secure yourself by saying, hey, before I move forward to do something that might hurt me, let me make sure I have a plan in place for it. See, in the gym, my plan is I've brought somebody with me that can carry that extra weight in case it gets too heavy for me. In my Legal Shield business, I created a vision first, so that I can see, okay, this is what I need to do. It's going to take a little time, but I'll do it. And then I had to have some faith. The same way, when I bring somebody to the gym to spot me, even though I can feel secure knowing they're going to spot me, I still got to have a little bit of faith that that person can hold that weight. I got to have the faith that that person is going to be focused and not listening to the music in their headphones and forget that they're supposed to be holding that weight and it drops on me anyway. So there's still some faith involved, even when I have somebody spot me at the gym. So I want you to understand that there's still going to be some faith involved. You still have to have faith. If you say, I'm going to start a grassroots campaign and marketing strategy to go from 800 to 1,100 clients in my tax office to 1,600 to 2,000 customers, so I can almost 50% to 100% increase the amount of customer base I have, so I can grow that tax office. Well, then in Legal Shield, I had to have faith in the provision coming after I created the vision and went out there and did the work. I had to have the faith in place before I started making phone calls to people like, and excuse me if I use your name and you don't want me to, please just let me know afterwards. I'm sure the people's names I will mention aren't going to have a problem with it, but I just like to say that so you know I respect the fact that I am using your name in my video. When I called Carlo Brown, when I called Kevin Mack, when I sent the message to Ben Hilgert, when I sent the message to Darnell Self, when I sent the message to Mike Humes, when I sent the message to people that aren't even in this company, in the Legal Shield business, and told them that I was going to earn $100,000 on this day, I had to have faith that the plan I put together, the vision I created, that the provision was going to come. I had to have some faith. Even though I planned some things and I went to work, I still had to have faith that that was going to work the way I needed it to work. So understand that you do have to have some faith involved in this, but you have to have a spotter for success. First, you have to identify. First, identify that you're in a place. You're at a sticking point in your business. You have to first identify that. And once you identify what that sticking point is, then you need to create a vision to get out of that. What are some different ways that you can, different things you can use as spotters to spot you for success, since that's what we're talking about? YouTube videos you can use as a spotter for your success. So we call that online mentors. So sometimes you're stuck because you just don't know what to do next. Sometimes you don't understand how to get from one level to the next. Sometimes you've lost motivation, you've lost drive. Sometimes something as simple as getting married and getting comfortable and spending time with your new husband or your new wife, or your wife having a baby, or your girlfriend having a baby, and now you're playing, dad, and you lose your drive and your motivation to run your business, and you get in a sticking point where you had success 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Then you got married and had children, and you laid off for a little bit and said, hey, we got enough money coming in, so I'm going to lay off a little bit. But then you realize that, man, we need more money. I need to get my drive back. And now you're at this sticking point where you've kind of lost track of what you need to be doing next. All you need to do is call a mentor that you're working with. All you need to do is go online and figure out what your sticking point is. So let me give you a personal example again of myself. And I know this video is longer than normal, but I needed to get all of this out on this video. So, of course, now that I have the page on Facebook, I can place this video on that page where you're probably looking at it right now if you're not looking at it on YouTube, because it's going to be too long for Instagram. But don't worry about it. It'll be in those other two places: YouTube, on my channel Training by Dunbar, and also on my Becoming an Entrepreneur training page, which is probably where you're looking at it right now. So, personal issue. And I like to use personal things because I can speak to my personal issues. So it was a time in my business, and I still do this a little bit now, but there was a time in my business when I procrastinated. And we all do a little bit of procrastination. And I wouldn't do the little mundane things, not because I couldn't do them, but because I don't like to do a lot of administrative things. I do them now in abundance. I do have people who do administrative things for me, but I've learned to like it a little bit better. But it was a really bad sticking point for me as an entrepreneur because I did not like to do administrative things, and I procrastinated a lot on them. So what did I do? I didn't call a mentor. I didn't have a person coach me. I bought the book, Eat That Frog. That book taught me about procrastination and how to get by it. And then the company that I work with, Legal Shield, invited in the guest speaker by the name of Mel Robbins. And Mel Robbins has a book called 5-Second Rule. So between Eat That Frog and 5-Second Rule, I learned to diminish the damage that procrastination was doing to my business. So that was my spotter. So I was stagnant at some point in my business because I was procrastinating. I identified that stagnation in my business. Stagnation a word? Educators, is that a word? I'm not sure. I identified my stagnation, if that's a word, and then I said, hey, I need to do something. I need a spotter for success. And what did I do? I read the book, Eat That Frog, more than once. And then I also learned about Mel Robbins' 5-Second Rule when she came as a guest speaker at our international conference for Legal Shield. And I was then able to say, hey, let me take these two mentors, right? This book and this audio, and I'll use those two things to get myself out of procrastination. So I got out of my sticking point. I use that as a spotter for success, and I moved to the next level. One of the ways I moved to the next level. So here, in closing out, because I definitely want to have this video to be less than 20 minutes, right? Because I know the millennials are not going to watch this. It's way too long for you guys. But don't worry about it. I get it. I'm going to do some 5-minute videos as well. So what do? Identify that you have a sticking point. Identify that you need a spotter for success. What that spotter for success is to you is going to be determined by, what the sticking point is. Use that spotter for success. Maybe a YouTube video, maybe a book, maybe a mentor, maybe a coach in that area. Use those things to then get past that sticking point so that that spotter for success can allow you to lift a higher weight so that you can get stronger and your business can get stronger. Does that make sense? I hope this is all making sense to you guys. Again, when you see this video on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. When you see this video on YouTube, give it a thumbs up. Like the video if you're looking at it on Facebook now, or if you're looking at it on a watch party. It won't be on Instagram. But look, guys, More to come. Robert Dunbar, Training by Dunbar. Remember, the book release will be coming in the second quarter of 2020. And also, you will see a landing page popping up here on my Facebook page here in the next week or two, which will allow you to give us your email address so that we can send out some free chapters of the book. So, Robert Dunbar signing off. See you guys all soon.